The alarm clock chimes. It's a sound like wind chimes, a gentle reminder that it's time to wake up. The soft melodic tones ease you into consciousness, a far cry from the jarring buzzes of the past. You open your eyes not to a bedroom ceiling, but to a sky painted with the colors of a sunrise over a tropical beach. The hues of orange and pink blend seamlessly, creating a breathtaking view that feels almost too perfect to be real. You're not in your bed, but standing on the warm sand, the smell of salt air filling your senses. The gentle waves lap at your feet, and you can feel the grains of sand between your toes. This is your life now. A life where the boundaries between reality and virtual experiences blur. You put on your haptic suit and your VR headset and you step into a world of your choosing. The suit enhances every sensation, making the virtual feel incredibly real. Today it's a beach vacation. The sun is warm on your skin and the sound of the ocean is soothing. Tomorrow it might be a bustling city or a quiet forest. Each day brings a new adventure, a new place to explore. The possibilities, as they say, are limited only by your imagination. You can be anywhere, do anything, and experience everything. You spend your morning swimming with dolphins, their sleek bodies gliding through the water alongside you. The water is cool and refreshing, and the dolphins' playful nature brings a smile to your face. The feel of their skin against yours is so real, you forget for a moment that they're not actually there. It's a surreal experience, one that leaves you in awe of the technology that makes it possible. Later, you have lunch at a beachside cafe, the taste of fresh mango and coconut exploding on your tongue. The flavors are vibrant and fresh, a perfect complement to the tropical setting. As the sun begins to set, you find yourself thinking about the day ahead. The sky is painted with shades of purple and gold, a beautiful end to a perfect day. You have a meeting in the morning, a virtual conference room overlooking the Swiss Alps. The view is stunning and it makes the workday feel less like a chore. And in the evening, you're having dinner with your family. All of you gathered around a virtual table, even though you're physically miles apart. The connection feels real, the conversation's genuine. This is life in the age of full immersion virtual reality. A life where the extraordinary becomes the everyday and the world is at your fingertips. Imagine a world without the constraints of physical space. A world where the boundaries of distance and time are no longer barriers to human interaction and experience. A world where you can be anywhere, instantly. Teleportation is no longer a science fiction dream, but a virtual reality. This is the promise of a society built around virtual reality, a digital utopia where human connections are redefined. Cities as we know them cease to exist in the traditional sense. The skyline of the future is a blend of the physical and the virtual. There is no need for office buildings, shopping malls, or even homes in the way we understand them. The physical spaces we once relied on are replaced by their digital counterparts. Instead, we have virtual spaces, vast, interconnected environments that can be anything we want them to be. These spaces are limited only by our imagination. Need to go to work? Step into the virtual office, a space that can be customized to your liking. Your workspace can be a serene beach or a bustling cityscape. Want to meet a friend for coffee? Meet them in a virtual cafe, complete with the aroma of freshly brewed coffee, or at least the digital simulation of it. The ambience is whatever you choose it to be. This new reality has profound implications for society. Geographical boundaries become meaningless. The world is truly at your fingertips. You can live in a virtual neighborhood with people from all over the world, sharing experiences and cultures without ever leaving your home. The diversity of human experience is just a click away. The possibilities for connection and collaboration are endless. In this transformed society, the only limit is your imagination. In a world where physical presence is optional, how do we form and maintain relationships? The answer, like everything else in VR, is complex and multifaceted. On the one hand, VR has the potential to deepen our connections with others. Imagine being able to share experiences with loved ones as if you were physically present with them. You could climb Mount Everest with your best friend, explore the Great Barrier Reef with your partner, or simply enjoy a quiet evening at home with your family, even if you're physically miles apart. But there are also potential downsides. What happens when we can choose to present ourselves in any way we want? What happens to our sense of self, our identity, when the line between reality and virtuality becomes blurred? These are questions we'll have to grapple with as we navigate the evolving landscape of relationships in a VR-dominated world. The line between reality and simulation has always been somewhat fluid. We watch movies, we read books, we lose ourselves in stories, all the while knowing that what we're experiencing isn't real. But VR takes this to a whole new level. When the virtual world is indistinguishable from the real world, how do we know what's real anymore? What happens to our sense of self, our perception of the world, when we can so easily slip in and out of different realities? These are questions that philosophers have been grappling with for centuries, and they're only becoming more urgent as VR technology advances. It's possible that VR could lead to a collective existential crisis as we struggle to make sense of a world where reality is no longer something we can take for granted. Education and work in VR. Imagine a classroom without walls, where students from all over the world can gather to learn from the best teachers and experience history firsthand. This is the promise of education in a VR world. Students could explore the pyramids of Egypt, walk with dinosaurs, or even travel to distant planets, all without leaving their desks. The possibilities for immersive, experiential learning are endless. Work, too, would be transformed. Office jobs could be done from anywhere in the world, and dangerous or physically demanding jobs could be performed by robots controlled remotely through VR. This could lead to a world where work is less about location and more about skills and talent. It could also free us from the drudgery of many jobs, allowing us to focus on more creative and fulfilling pursuits. As Section 6, the digital divide, new inequalities arise. While the potential benefits of a VR-dominated world are significant, it's important to consider the potential downsides as well. One of the biggest concerns is the potential for VR to exacerbate existing inequalities. Access to technology has always been unevenly distributed, and VR is likely to be no different. Those who can afford the latest and greatest VR equipment and experiences will have a significant advantage over those who can't. This could lead to a two-tiered society where the wealthy elite have access to incredible opportunities and experiences, while the rest of us are left behind in the real world. It's crucial that we find ways to ensure that the benefits of VR are shared by all, not just a privileged few. Section 7, the allure of escape, VR addiction and reality deficiency. Another concern is the potential for VR addiction. When the virtual world is so compelling, so immersive, so much more exciting than the real world, why would anyone choose to leave? This is a question that has already been raised in relation to video games and social media, but VR takes the potential for escapism to a whole new level. What happens when people become so addicted to their virtual lives that they neglect their real-world responsibilities? What happens to our relationships, our communities, our society as a whole when we're all living in our own little bubbles? This is a dystopian future that we must strive to avoid. It's crucial that we find ways to balance the allure of VR with the importance of real-world connection and engagement. Section 8, simulated ethics, new rules for a virtual world. The rise of VR also raises a host of ethical questions. For example, what are the rules of behavior in a virtual world? Can you harm someone in VR even if they don't experience any physical pain? What about virtual theft or virtual assault? These are all questions that will need to be addressed as we develop legal and ethical frameworks for a VR-dominated world. We'll also need to grapple with questions of privacy and security. In a world where our thoughts, feelings and actions can be tracked and monitored in VR, how do we protect our right to privacy? These are complex questions with no easy answers, but they're questions that we must address if we want to create a virtual world that is both ethical and humane. Section 9, Utopia or Dystopia, the future of virtual existence. The prospect of living in a virtual reality is both exhilarating and terrifying. It opens up a realm of possibilities that were once confined to our imaginations. On the one hand, it offers us the potential to create a world without limits, a world where the only boundaries are those we set for ourselves. A world where we can be anything we want to be, transforming our identities and exploring new facets of our personalities. A world where our wildest dreams can become reality, where the impossible becomes possible. But it also presents us with a host of new challenges and dangers, from the potential for addiction to the risk of losing touch with the real world. These are challenges that we must be prepared to face if we want to create a future where VR enhances our lives rather than diminishes them. Ultimately, the future of VR is up to us. It's a powerful tool that can shape our world in profound ways. It's up to us to decide how we want to use this powerful technology. Will we use it responsibly and ethically? Do we use it to create a better world for ourselves and future generations, fostering creativity, connection and innovation? Or do we allow it to become a tool for escapism, division and control? The choice is ours. Choose wisely. For the future of virtual existence depends on the decisions we make today.